everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. Today we're going to do another quick garden tour. A lot has happened since that last one. I got to show y'all some stuff. So, no use in looking at the watermelon patch. You already know what's going on over there. We're going to just save ourselves some headache, okay? We just going to even pretend like there's not even over there, all right? But we're going to show you some other things in the garden that's growing. Maybe not every little thing, but some things. Now remember, we try to show the good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me show y'all some ugly stuff real quick. I mean, it's really ugly. Let's go. Alright, so before we get to what's really ugly, this was the turnip bed here. Turnips did horrible. I've already turned this stuff over and just buried leaves and them itty bitty turnips like that. I just buried them all back in the ground. I got some little ones here that I'm going to take and cut up and just cook those. But for the most part, the turnip bed was a total bust. My fault. Because remember, y'all, I overplanted that. I overseeded that. And it didn't do so well. And my rutabagas are not doing too good either. We talked about that in the last garden update. But they're doing well enough that I can get some rutabagas from them, right? So all of the rest of them, like for this one, example, this one, this size here, the leaves are not all that big, but if I pull up the rutabaga, look, it's not that big. So disappointing. Look at all of these. See what I mean? Nothing. And I think it's a bed problem too. I'm gonna have to see. I'm not sure. But y'all, all my carrots all of a sudden just started to die off and left this brown mess with all of the tops. And look at the carrots, how they stopped growing, you know. Now this bed was doing so good at first, and as I started fumbling through it, I was finding itty bitty carrots like that. Now I know I can harvest those itty bitty ones and use those as little baby carrots, right? And I'll probably do that, but that's not what I was going for. I was going for some really nice carrots, and for some reason this bed just didn't do so good with them. So I don't know, you all. I don't know, but yeah, the carrots did horrible down here. Yes, they did. All right, now let's move on. Do y'all remember that horrible mess of a corn patch I had over there? Well, it's even worse now. We got some corn. It's all weeded up. Some of it is growing, some of it did not. And I knew that I needed to replant. Now, you know that saying, knee high by the 1st of July? I know. But that's not happening. Not here. Because I had to replant. But let me show you what I did. Okay. Remember my onion beds? Well, here they are. I harvested all of the onions and planted more corn. And so I have all of this corn here, these two beds right here, growing in the these two raised beds right here are full of that peaches and cream corn. Okay, so I replanted it here. Yes, it's late. It's time for me to actually put some 511 on it, which is nitrogen. And then in this third bed right here, this was what was left of that corn that I started again from seed. But then I direct sowed some corn. Now I haven't been watering it. Look at this. We got some extra grass coming up that we don't want in this bed. But I reseeded this bed right here with just the corn seed. And it has been raining so much, so much, that I'm actually expecting this corn to show itself at any moment. Yes, I am. So I have more seeds, and what basically what I am doing is growing this corn, right, in different, so that the harvest time would be different, right? So now these two beds, all of this is going to come together. These two are going to come together at once, but this bed right here is going to be a couple of weeks behind that. And in this last bed of onion here, which was the red onion, I just planted some calendula here, and I have some pineapple ground cherries here, and some of them are actually ready. Let me show y'all these. Look at that. All right, so the ground cherries are doing pretty good, these little ones here, but I have some more ground cherries that I'm going to show you that I planted earlier. I have Aunt Molly's ground cherry, and then I have this pineapple ground cherry. Now, these ground cherries come in these cute little husks like this, right? When they're ready, they fall to the ground. There's no guesswork. When do I harvest? You don't even got to worry about trying to figure that out. They'll let you know when to harvest them, right? Because they'll fall to the ground. So, what you'll do is just peel back this little cute little husk here and reveal the little cherry inside. And y'all, this is what they look like. Little ground cherries. And they are so good. The pineapple ground cherries taste like pineapple. All right, y'all. So you all remember in this bed, along with the rosemary bush, I planted some lettuce, but I also planted some Aunt Molly's ground cherries. And just look at how these ground cherries have grown. They have just taken off, right? This is one plant. This is one plant. This is one whole plant. And then these two right here are going kind of slow. Who's been digging in my bed? Something's been digging in my bed. But anyway, you all, you can see this plant is much larger than the pineapple ground cherry because it's, and I did start these from seed. And these two have just literally just taken off, you all. But you can look under here and see all of the ground cherries. They're just loaded with them. Loaded. And they're still on the plant. So that means, hey, they're not ready yet, right? But I don't know if you could see underneath here. But just look at all of those. They're everywhere. They're all over these plants. So I am just so excited. But when these babies start falling to the ground, I cannot wait to taste these. And I do have behind them some lettuce that we need to really start harvesting this lettuce right here. We sure do. But the ground cherries are doing a good job of shading out the lettuce over there. Now remember, this bed was also rosemary, okay? This is the largest of my 2 rosemary bushes right here. And y'all, just look at this. This plant is just massive. It's still growing. It's about to take over the whole 4th of this bed right here. Yes, it is. And this lettuce is doing good. We have been... Bug, get out of there. I'm gonna get out. This bed right here, the lettuce, we have been harvesting lettuce from this bed, you all. I'm going to tell y'all a story about that too. And of course, hold on, I'm going to take y'all to the other side so y'all can see. All right, so you can see this lettuce is about to go to seed here. But all of this, we've been harvesting from this, and something's just eating that one up. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull that one completely out. But we've been harvesting from this lettuce. And man, has it been so good, and just loving being able to enjoy fresh salad. I just love that, right? But remember our baby corn? Well, baby is just about ready. It's just about ready. It started tasseling. Look at this. Just look at. So we are so excited about being able to get our little baby corns. And they've already started to grow. Here's one here. But it's not ready yet, though. It's got to get a little bit bigger. I know it's baby corn, but it ain't ready yet, right? So they're beginning to show themselves, but it's just not yet time. Now, I thought they were supposed to be a fast-growing baby corn, but maybe the temperatures have had something to do with this corn not being as fast as I read that it was supposed to be. But no worry, I guess. Maybe the weather had something to do with it, but it's been in the ground for quite some time now. So I don't know. But in any case, I'm still looking forward to getting some baby corn. And I love where I have it planted because I could just easily keep an eye on this. I hate those moths. Yes, I do. I'm going to get a butterfly net. I'm going to start. Okay, all right. time for another POA, another plan of action. Okay. All right, you all. So yeah, baby corn looking good. Lettuce about to go to seed. I'm gonna let it because I need those seeds. Yeah, I need them. See, all right, he playing with me. See him? He playing. He's taunting me. All right, y'all, let's move on. If you all will remember the last time we did the tour, I showed you all the early spring garden, right? I showed you all my broccoli, the broccoli that survived, the cabbages that survived. I was so excited about that, right? And I even told you about the fact that I lost all of our Brussels sprouts and all of our cauliflower. Well, y'all, I came out here a couple of days ago and started pulling back the covers, expecting to see some heads of cabbages finally forming. And when I unveiled it, let me show you what I found. I was so surprised. I still am. Can y'all see what I see from here? I got to do better. I just got to do better. Look at this. Just look at this. I'm like, what the what? Cauliflower, y'all. Just look. Just heads and heads of cauliflower everywhere. Just look at them. And one of them even just too big. But y'all know me. Y'all know me. Like my mama, just cut that part off. Look at this. Up in here. Cauliflower. Now there's a little something coming in there. I'm not really sure. I thought this was cabbage, y'all. And I think what I did was had my starts mislabeled. Because this should have been cabbage. But look at the size of that. Y'all see how late I am? Just look at the size. And no, this is not a self-blanching cauliflower. That's why it's the color that it is. Look at this. Just look at that. That's just too big. Look at that. But y'all know, I already said what I'm going to do. Look at this one. Just cauliflower everywhere. Who'd have thunk it? Right? I thought I had cabbage. But that's not all. That's not all. I am very, very pleased with this. Right? Hey, boy. Don't you get out of my garden, Moo Bear. Moo Bear. And where have you been? Get out. Ew. Don't shake on me. Don't shake on me. Okay. Now, remember all of that broccoli? Remember all that broccoli I harvested, you all, and I told you I wasn't going to take the plant out because of the side shoots? Well, just look. I got these little side shoots everywhere that I'm going to come in today and harvest. I got a ton of harvesting to do. But I wanted to get this video done first. Just look at that. All these little side shoots, they're everywhere on this broccoli. Look at the size of this. Now, this is the original head right here. That's a head. But this one right here, side shoots, side shoots, side shoots, side shoots. So I will continue to harvest the broccoli up until I can't anymore. This is a head that has gotten really too big. This is another here. And this one right here is just full of side shoots. See here? Yeah, they're just everywhere. All the little side shoots that are on these plants. And it's so good too. It's so good and sweet. You know, just look at that. Look at that. Now that's a nice size side shoot to say, look, it's not the main plant, because you can see where I harvested the main head. So this is a nice size side shoot. Look at that. Look at that. This one is the last head for me. This plant here was way behind all of the rest, right? Yeah, so I'm excited about all of the broccoli and the cauliflower that I discovered. So excited about that. Now we're going to curve on around and I'm going to show y'all. This is my red cabbage. These were the only surviving cabbages of the reds that I have, okay? And so far, and they are very slow growing, as you can see. Look at how small that little head is. Just look, they're very small. This one is a little bit bigger, but you can see, you all, this is a slow growing cabbage. So really, this cabbage should have been ready last month sometime. But you know what happened, so it is what it is. I'm just happy that it's even growing. All right. Now let me share with you all something that some of you may or may not know. You may or may not be aware of this, okay? But do you know how when you harvest broccoli, it sends out those side shoots? Well, did you know that when you harvest your head of cabbage, if you cut this cabbage head just right, you can get more cabbage still, right? Some of you probably know this, but some of the new gardeners may not be aware. That's not the end of the plant, right? So I'm going to come out and harvest this little head of cabbage today. But I'm going to show you, if you harvest it just right, look at what can happen. You'll come back out and you'll have all of these little baby heads. See that? See that one? I have another one right here. I have another little baby head right here. And I think there's one more. Yep. No, two more. Look down there. One here and one down there. See? It'll give you all these little baby heads of cabbages, right? Look at there. One coming and another. And I think there was one underneath this leaf. I ain't gonna move it. And look at this. There's more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little baby heads of cabbages. Now, let me show y'all this. See, look at this. All these beautiful little cabbages growing here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had 5. There's 5, but here's 6. Look what happened to that cabbage. Look at there. I left the cover off one night, and look at what happened. See, it's about to be wabbit season at Homestead Heart. Wabbit season, not duck season, wabbit season. All right. Now I got to 2 of them. This right here is my other head of cabbage. Look at how this is forming, y'all. This right here really is just like baffling me. This plant right here, it's just baffling me. But anyway, look, got another little head or 2 growing down there already before this head is completely formed. I got little heads underneath. If I can get to it without breaking the leaf. I got little heads underneath forming already. That is so baffling to me. But I love it. I'll take it. I'll take it. And look what they did. Look at there. Just chewed it up. Wabbit season. Now remember I told you all, we talked about the watermelon. So what I did was, this is some Jubilee melon right here that I purchased some starts. And I have already planted them in these vacant spaces here next to the cabbages. See here? There's another. There's another. And here's another, right? Yeah, here's another. And just across here, I have a lot of more empty spaces where the cabbages are, right? Right? Look at there. I'm going to put watermelon in every last one of these holes. Yes, I am. And I already got 2 crimson sweets right here. So every vacant space that you see that you see where there are no cabbages, broccoli, etc., I'm going to put in watermelon in every last one of these holes. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I'm going to plant as much as I can in hopes of getting at least a few good melons. We'll see. Okay? All right, let's move on. Do y'all remember my gherkins? Look at these. These, I believe, are the Mexican sour gherkins, I believe. Yes. And these are the Indian burr gherkins. Now, I was trying my best to trellis these up. But, y'all, I could not keep up with these things here. I just couldn't do it. It was too many. They was going bananas up in here. Just look at this. Y'all, what have I done? What have I done? But just look, they're growing. They everywhere. Let me see if I can find a few little baby cucumbers up in here. I know they're here because they're everywhere. They're so little, but they're all up in here. And I'm going to have to use great caution to get into that jungle and harvest those cucumbers. Now I'm going to bag out of here. Go on the other side. So you can see the other side is just like that side. Just look. What I'm supposed to do with this? Just what? So I'm going to have to get up in here. Y'all. Oh, look. Look, look, look. Look, 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 look. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't know if you can see it or not. But there's one. Wait, wait, wait. There's one. What? I'm excited. My baby girl wasn't excited. She don't like them. She wasn't excited. She don't like them. All right, let's go on. I'm going to show you these. Oh, my God. I have let these get too big. These are supposed to be my little gherkins right here that I'm supposed to make my own gherkins from. That is way too big. I'm not going to be able to do nothing with that except for eat it fresh. Yeah, we've had so much rain. I haven't been able to come out here and harvest these like I want to. Those are too big to be gherkins, right? You know how little gherkins are supposed to be. So look at the size of that one back there. I don't know if you can see it. Let me go around. But these are just too big to be my little, for me to use as gherkins. Look at the size of that cucumber. They're supposed to be itty bitty, right? Itty bitty, no longer than maybe what? 3-4 inches long, real small, right? They're for gherkins, not to grow them to be like large cucumbers, right? So I'm gonna have to harvest those, eat those fresh in salads or something, and then and then start again with trying to collect them early. Now these right here, you all, along this little row with the 3 eggplant that survived here. That one in the back ain't gonna do nothing, but these are the 3 eggplant that survived on this row. So what I did was I came in and put 4 cantaloupes in. Okay, this is some Haley's Best cantaloupe that I put in these holes, and I'm gonna put up a little trellis for these. I don't want these on the ground. I'm gonna put up a little trellis for these. But y'all, let me show y'all this. Y'all see that jungle right there? This is my China rose radish, and I have been harvesting the pods off of these, and they are so delicious, right? But here's the one thing that I will say that I also noticed is that our honeybees love these, y'all. They are all up in here. It's like hundreds of them. They're all in here. They're everywhere. I don't know. I'm just going to hold the camera still. But y'all, our honeybees are just look back there. Just look back there. I don't know if you can see, but just look back here. You could just see them just moving. They everywhere. Just hundreds of them. They love the flowers, the nectar from these China rose radish. So if I don't get out here at a certain time to harvest my pods, I'm just out of luck. Because at a certain time, this is going to be loaded with bees and butterflies, like you can see right now. Bees and butterflies everywhere. Bees, butterflies, moths, everything. Right next to them, y'all, we got our eggplant. Eggplant's coming along pretty good. Look at that. I did spray some organic pesticide or insecticide on this because something was eating the leaves up terribly, right? So I've sprayed these, but it's rained, so I'm gonna have to spray them again. You can use neem oil, BT, spinosad. All of that is organic, and it's OMRI listed, so it's safe to use on your farm or in your garden. Especially if you're growing organically, okay? And keep in mind that organic pesticides, they don't work as fast as that chemical stuff. So just know that, all right? And that's perfectly fine with me. All right, you all. Now this is our row of squash. As you can see, it's coming along real good. All of this squash right here is all our Table King acorn squash is what it is. Okay? And they are starting to put on fruit. All right? But I don't see them on here. I'm going to have to back up and go back around. I want to show you this. This is my sweet dumpling squash right here. Just look at it. They're everywhere in here. And they are doing really, really well. Okay? That's all sweet dumpling. Okay? Now, let's step on over. This right here is the jumbo banana squash. Jumbo pink banana is what it's called. Is what I have in here. All right, kitty weedy. Now that one looks like it's dying off. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Just as I expected, squash bugs have gotten to this. Let's see if I can get that out. I'm going to step on it, because I know that bug is in there somewhere. I know he's in there because he's killed the whole plant. Look at that damage. I'm going to take this from over here. See if I can get him and dispose of him swiftly. All right, you all. Now on this row, I have my cushaw. Okay. Now, when I initially started my cushaw seeds, none of them germinated. Well, I won't say none of them. I'll say maybe a couple of them germinated, but that's it. And even they didn't look good. So I had to start these seeds over again. And I planted the seedlings that I started over again, you all, because the temperatures were so warm, they just bursted through the soil. And you can see, those were the first 3 right there that were about a week later than the ones that I have in front of them. Okay? So they're about a week. The ones in the back are about a week and a half older than the ones in the front. So I started my seeds again for the cushaw, and they're doing just fine. So yeah, I believe the temperature had a lot to do with that. All right, you all. All right. Now, just after the cushaw on the very ends here, I put 2 Black Diamond watermelon plants. These are 2 starts that I purchased. And I put 2 of them here. And as you can see, they're doing really good. They're taking off right now. Now look, you see all the grass growing up between this, right? Because I'm out of ground cover. I'm totally out of ground cover. And so what's going to have to happen is we're going to have to come through here and weed eat again before the vines get too long. And I'm going to have to put some cardboard or something down because, yeah, this grass up in here is really something. But we're out of ground cover and we're just not going to buy no more this season. So it is what it is for over here. It is what it is. Yes, the Jerusalem artichokes are doing fantabulous. Remember I told you all that they had started flowering and everything? Look at this, you all. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just beautiful? Yes, so I'm just wondering what's going on under there. What's going on under the soil? But yes, you all, Jerusalem artichokes are doing awesome. All right, y'all, now I'm over here in Big Mama's garden. The rain stopped yesterday. And y'all should see this grass. Well, you can't help but to see it when I start showing you the garden. But let's have a look. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Remember we talked about sporadic corn growth? Look at that, y'all. I don't know what this gonna do. I honestly don't know what it's gonna do. But just look at this. Got some corn here, no corn in the middle, no corn down here. Got a few stalks right here. It's a lot of them planted together right here. I don't even know how this happened. This like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stalks of corn in one spot. I'm not moving them, sure not. They need each other right now. Okay, now look at this. Bud hiding up in there. This little patch right here looks so much better than... Oh, and by the way, I'm standing in 2 rows that should be corn that was planted the same time this was. But none of it came up. None of it. But that did. Look at the sporadic growth of this. I'm just not happy. Just not happy. And look at this. Tasseling back here and everything. Just look. Just look at that. All back here tasseling already, right? But the plant is not very big. I don't know what this corn is going to be like. Now, this is my first time growing this peaches and cream corn, y'all. First time. But look at it. And back here, look at how little this corn plant is. And then it's got the nerve to have an ear of corn on it. Just look at this. This is the whole plant right here. And it's got the nerve to be trying to produce an ear of corn. Shut your mouth. And then I just got these 2 little plants right here. But we got a million, we got grass everywhere. But just look at this, y'all. Isn't that something? I know, it is. Now look behind me. Because for the 2nd year in a row, I've had to plant beans twice. Yeah, but if you'll look behind me, look, that second planting of the Jade, it's all up. Look at the strike. Look, all the way down. Strike beans are up. I'm so happy about that. Yes, I am. Now, what I didn't tell you about was that over where I started to put the corn in the raised beds, in between each corn seed and each plant, I seeded some Kentucky Wonder pole beans. Yes, I did. And I'm excited about those growing. I had those on the seed store, and I think they sold pretty fast, right? Like real quick. But I planted some, a lot of them, and I'm hoping to be able to save seed from them this year. But anyway, all the beans are up, most of them. We got some holes that didn't come up, but we got most of them. On this row of beans, on the ends of each row of my beans, I have 2 sunflowers, okay? And these sunflowers, I believe, are the Mongolian giants, the largest of the sunflowers, right? And so I have 2 here, and on this side I have 2 here. On this side is all Jade bush beans, that green bean, that French style green bean that I told you it reminds me of. It tastes so good that I absolutely love it, right? But the strike, they taste good, but you all, they are heavy producers. And yes, I got a 45-foot, 50-foot row almost planted of these babies. And the Jades. So I'm going to be a green bean picking something when it's time. Now, all these holes where the beans didn't come up at, I'm not even concerned about that, y'all. I think I have enough bean plants that it's okay if I'm missing some. Now, the spacing on these in this ground cover, they say you're supposed to space your beans about 6 inches apart, y'all. And I honestly could not see myself burning a hole every 6 inches. In truth, I was simply not gonna do that, right? I'm like, there was no way I was gonna do that. It was so time consuming enough to burn a hole every foot, let alone every 6 inches. So I got these holes spaced out every foot, okay? 1 foot apart, which to me, because it is a 50-foot row, I think is plenty, especially because I have 2 rows. So I think this is absolutely plenty, planting them a foot apart. In fact, in my ground cover, these are the only 2 beds that I have planted. Only 2 beds where the holes were burned a foot apart. All of my other beds are 2 feet apart, with the exception of the tomatoes. Let's go ahead and have a look. All right. On my left and on my right, are my tomatoes, slicers, all of them. And right down the middle is okra. Okra and tomatoes, get it? Okra and tomatoes. All right, y'all, look down there. Look at these tomatoes, how much they have grown. Just look at them. Just look at them on both sides. Look at them. They have grown so much, you all. So much. Now, a lot of them started off with some leaf curl at the bottom of the leaves, but the larger the plant gets, they seem to be growing out of that leaf curl. So they're doing pretty good, right? I'm going to hit them with some Epsom salt here. Put some Epsom salt around the base of them. I wanted to do it before the rain came, but I just couldn't get out here and get it done, y'all. But all of these are my slicers. These are German Queens right here. And then just past the German Queens, we have these Sun Sugars that I'm excited to try. And actually, here's one that is ready. Look at that. Look at it. Look, fell right on off. I'm going to have to taste this. Don't y'all tell Mr. H, because I ain't got another one to share. So I'm going to have to eat this one by myself. Oh, man. Okay, Sun Sugar. All right, I see you. I see you. All right, all right, all right. I see you. I see you, girl. Okay. You ain't that black cherry, but you all right. All right, y'all. Now, the rest of these slicers right here. Let me show you this leaf curl. See here? Let me get out my shadow. Look at this. This could be caused by a number of things. Watering, too much water. Could be caused by a number of things. But if you come on up here where the new growth is, there's no leaf curl. I had this issue last year. I had the issue. I had this issue last year. And the bigger the plant got, the more they just grew out of it. So all of these varieties of tomatoes are varieties that I'm excited about. I'm certainly excited. I love the Cherokee Purple tomato. That is a good tomato. But I really wanted to try the German Johnson. And I have several of those, right? I bought 6 packs of those and planted them after I lost a lot of our tomato starts. So a lot of these are German Johnsons. I have German Queens. Look at the size of this tomato here. Now this one right here is one of those German Johnsons. And this one is already getting a crack in it right here. Or look like something pecked a hole in it. But just look at them, how they're growing. They're already growing so well. Look at this one right here hiding behind this leaf. Look at the size of that tomato. I am so excited about these tomatoes growing. Now, one of the things I will say to all of the new gardeners out there, when you're growing tomatoes, always keep your eye out. Something has pecked a hole clean into this tomato right here. You can see my finger on the other side of this hole. Something pecked a hole clean through it, and I know it was a bird because the bird activity has picked up in this garden more than I've ever seen. So we're working on a solution for that. But in any case, you all, you want to look for suckers on your plants. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this out, and I'm going to do a separate video on suckers and why you want to remove as many of these as possible, especially when your plant is young. You don't want suckers taking over your plant when they're young. They will take too much energy, entirely too much energy from your plant, and you don't want that. See, here's one that has gotten quite a little bit larger. I'm going to go ahead and just pinch that out. Because once they get too big, a sucker is basically a whole nother plant. A whole nother plant. And when you have a young plant, you don't want a whole nother plant taking the life out of the main plant. See, this plant is loaded with them. And believe it or not, before the rain several days ago, I had already come out here and taken out a lot of these suckers, but they grow that fast. So when the plant is young, I recommend taking them out as many as you can find. But then once the plant gets bigger and it's a little bit older, I stop worrying about the suckers, and I just like do what you do, you know. I stop worrying about them at a certain point, right? But when the plants are young, I want to get all of them out that I can find, okay? And I also prune the base of my plants, like at the bottom. Beautiful tomato. Ooh, let me take this leaf off of here. It don't look so good. Yeah, and they start looking like that, I'm getting them out. But you all, look at that. I try to keep the bottom of the plants pruned back because I just want to make sure I have good airflow. And then once the plant starts to grow, I don't worry about really pruning it anymore. I ain't cutting it back no more. I ain't doing all of that. I'm going to let it do what it do. But I'm going to make sure I keep my eye out on these suckers because I want to make sure that the plant has a fighting start, okay? Now, you can see some of these plants have gotten so big since the rain. Look at that. It done broke off. It done split. Look at that. It done fell down to the ground. So I'm going to come out here and I'm going to trellis that up. If it survives, good. If not, I'm not worried about it. But look, all of these. I got to get all of this up and trellis this up, you all. So these are the slicers and they're doing good. Now where I'm standing right now is my okra. You can see some of it did well, some of it did not. I had to restart the seeds again. I know this year's garden has been tough for everyone, you all. Everyone. So some of the okra that I reseeded a couple of weeks ago did not come up. I had to put down more seed. But as you can see, look, I'm gonna have to start cutting some of that. But so far, this jambalaya right here is looking pretty good. All right, y'all. So, in between the slicers on this row and my paste tomatoes on this row, I have my squash. Yes, I do. Now, this is that Cacazole zucchini. And, yeah, it's really big because, like I said, the day that I came out and looked at it, I said, okay, I'm going to have to harvest this in about a couple of days. But then it started raining, and I could not get out here to harvest it. So that one has gotten too big. I'm going to go ahead and take that one off, and then that one will be ready in a few days, okay? Now, this one is another Table King Acorn right here. As you can see, it's loaded with little squash. See these plants right here that I've started early? Y'all, these are my traps right here. Look at the eggs on this plant. I'm going to pull them off. But these are my traps right here. Yes. I'm luring those bugs in. The squash bugs, the vine borers and the squash bugs. I'm luring them in. Loaded with squash down here, y'all. Loaded. I'm using these sacrificial plants to lure them in. And guess what I have down here? Seeds that I just planted not long ago, right before the rain. And as you can see, they're already up. Look all the way down. They're already up. By the time these plants are even big enough to start putting on squash, hopefully the June bugs will have come and gone and won't do very much damage to these plants. Now I am going to start some more seeds behind them just in case. And I have patty pans here, and I have the straight necks, the early straight necks here. Yes. And all of these, remember, are all of my paste tomatoes here. And the only varieties that I grew for paste tomatoes are our Amish paste and the orange icicle tomato. So these so far, look at them. They're growing and they're looking good. Yes, they are. Just look. They're beginning to put on fruit. All right, y'all. So it's another day. Got my helper. Got my little garden helper here with me this morning. And you all. Ow, girl! Them claws! Ma'am. Anyway, y'all. I had to conclude yesterday, the garden tour. Yesterday, I lost my battery power. And then I had to run some errands. And by the time I came back, it was pouring down rain. Okay? So, couldn't do it. Rained all day, all evening. It just stopped sometime during the wee hours of the morning. But y'all, I'm going to show y'all something. Now, that was Friday. Today is Saturday morning. I got to hurry up. 9 a.m. It's about 7 something-ish this morning. So I gotta hurry up. Anyway, you all, I'm gonna show y'all how fast this zucchini grows. This is the cocozole. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. It's either cocozole or zale zucchini. And just look at what I just showed you. And I'm about to show you this. And then we're gonna finish the tour, okay? Girl, get out of my tomato. Get out of my tomato. All right, y'all, come on. Let's go ahead and look. Now, first of all, remember I showed you this plant yesterday. This is that Table King acorn squash. This plant is absolutely massive. I mean, I'm standing on top of the ground cover now, and just look. This thing is absolutely huge. And again, I showed you that it was loaded with a lot of little squash in there, right? It's just, they're everywhere in there. There's so many of them. But look, this is what I want to show you. This zucchini right here. Look at this. Look at that. It was not that big yesterday, right? You all know how fast zucchini grows. And remember I told you I had zucchini that I would probably harvest in a day or two? Well, look. I got to get in here and get this out of here right now, along with this one right here. Look at this. Look at the size of that one. Just since yesterday, okay? Since yesterday. So this is how fast zucchini grows. If you are a new gardener and you really want some good wins when it comes to gardening, you can't go wrong with zucchini and squash, you all. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with this. You will be so happy, if you like it, that is, if you eat squash. But you cannot go wrong with this. All right, so now we're going to move on. I think I showed you the peppers and whatnot. All of the jalapenos are doing really well. I have jalapenos on just about all of the plants that we have. And of course, we have an entire 50-foot row of a variety of our pepper plants. Jalapenos, mammoth jalapenos, jalapenos, banana peppers, cubanelles, snack peppers. We have a few varieties of each. And just since yesterday, look at the size of my sunflower. Just look at this. Look at that. And then the one on the end down there. Let's go on down there and have a look so we can make our way back. I mean, everything is growing so good. Look at this before we get to that. Mr. H's peppers. Look at that. Loaded with peppers. I need to harvest all of these this morning. Look at the cubanelles. I harvested one. And look at that one. It's time to... Not yet. I'm going to wait until that one turns red. But okay. So coming on down. You all saw the okra. You saw how the okra was growing. It's looking pretty good. Right? But let's come on down. This sunflower here. This sunflower has grown tremendously just since yesterday. Just look at that. Look at that sunflower. Man, if I was to stand in front of this sunflower, you would see just how tall it is. In fact, I think I might. I think I might show you that. Maybe I'll do it in a thumbnail or something. But that is absolutely huge. Okay? And then we have the two new sunflowers that we planted. These are the Titans. And they have grown really well. Now, this zucchini plant. You see the size of this plant? Look at it. This is one plant, you all. One. Hence the reason why I space out. I cut holes in the ground cover here for zucchini and for tomatoes 3 feet apart. Okay? Zucchini and tomatoes, I give them 3 feet for this reason. Because just look at the size of these plants. This plant is massive, and this is one plant. It's one. Just like that's one right there, and then there's another in the hole next to it. This is one plant. And you can see this is another one of those cocozole zucchinis. And this plant is absolutely massive. And this went from yesterday having a nub of a zucchini to having this massive zucchini on it. Right along across the way, there's another really big one in there that I need to get out. All of this got to happen this morning, you all. And this is my bell pepper row right here. Bell peppers. What is this? I don't think that's a bell. What is this? Oh, this is that lunchbox pepper. Okay, no, the lunchbox pepper is on this row because it is a sweet pepper. And then the rest of these are all just different varieties of bell pepper, okay? All different varieties of bell pepper. Somehow, I ended up putting the jalapeno on the sweet pepper aisle. I don't know how that had happened, but it did. Now, as you can see, I do have a few bells that are coming along nicely. I have so many bell peppers, y'all, that are just about ready. For example, look at that. That's a big Bertha, if I'm not mistaken. That's a big Bertha bell. So she has a ways to go. This plant is going to get a lot larger, and so are these peppers, okay? Here's another big Bertha, but it's not doing so good. Not doing so good. It's kind of slow. This is just regular bells right here. And these are the other bell peppers. These are growing really good. Look at those. I got 3 right here. But they're not quite ready. All right, y'all. So now let's move on to something that, oh my goodness, I got to share it. I'm sharing it with y'all before I share it with Mr. H. I haven't shared it with Mr. H yet. But I don't know how he's going to feel about what I'm about to say. All right, y'all. So now, this entire row here is supposed to be a mixture of spaghetti squash and butternut. Spaghetti squash is my favorite out of the 2. Butternut is Mr. H's favorite out of the 2. Okay? He'll eat spaghetti squash, but he's not like a major fan. I'm a major fan of spaghetti squash. I prefer it over pasta any day. Not Mr. H. Butternut, I'll eat it. I like it. It's good. But I prefer cushaw over butternut squash. Mr. H loves his butternut squash. I think I done something. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So you all got to get out here and start trellising again because the rain is starting to move these babies about. And, well, you know. But anyway, got to get these vines up because you can see all down the aisle how the vines are just coming all out into the aisle. So, but y'all, let me tell y'all what had happened. See, what had happened was, I know I planted spaghetti squash, all right? And I thought I planted butternut. But as the squash started to grow, this is supposed to be the butternut area right here. But look what's down here. This is spaghetti squash. Y'all, my seeds, I had them marked and labeled. Butternut squash, spaghetti squash. I had them labeled. So, how in the world? This is supposed to be the butternut end down here. Right? Half of this is supposed to be butternut. But as I look, spaghetti squash. Oh my God. Oh my goodness, y'all. Just spaghetti squash. Let me find another one. See? This is supposed to be all butternut. But look, spaghetti squash. What have I done? And then the butternut is, the spaghetti squash is supposed to start here, right? Yeah, this is where it's supposed to start. I even got it labeled butternut. But look, more spaghetti squash. I don't have any butternut squash out here. Oh no. Oh no. So, okay. So as I look, Nope. There's no butternut. This is all spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash. Oh my word. Spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash. Spaghetti squash. Spaghetti. Oh my goodness, y'all. More spaghetti squash. This entire row is nothing but a row of spaghetti squash. My Mr. H. Oh my goodness. Y'all, oh my goodness. Just nothing but spaghetti. Oh, y'all. Let me get through here. Oh my goodness, y'all. I just don't know. Houston, we have a problem. Oh my goodness. So, can somebody put down in the comment section how I'm supposed to explain this to Mr. H? No spaghetti squash? We indeed have a problem. Okay. I need some help. Okay, if there was ever a day I needed some help, I need some help right now. I need to explain this to my husband. And I guess I could start off with what had happened was. All right, y'all, we're going to move on to the cucumbers. Okay? Now, I'm out here, remember now, our beehives are out here in the garden as well. You see them? You see them? Now look, I'm going to stop the pan right here. But I got something to share with y'all about the bees. All right? I do. And I've been waiting to talk about this so that I can, I guess, talk about it and get through it, you know? So, but anyway, I'm going to talk to y'all about the bees. And no, it's not going to be good. It's actually extremely frustrating. So, I'm going to talk to y'all about the bees. But anyway, let's get to the cucumber. All right, y'all. So the cucumbers are doing fantastic. Fantabulous. All right, so down here on this end, we have our Market More 80s. And yes, they are producing well. In fact, we have a lot that we need to get down there and harvest. I don't know if you can see, but this baby right here is tucked away, hiding. There's some on the other side over there. There's more down here. This is a deformed cucumber. Oh, he's stuck in the fence. No wonder. Oh, my word. Okay, I'm going to have... Good grief. All right. That ain't going to work. I'm going to have to do this. But anyway, I have more cucumbers on the other side over here that need harvesting. Back there, Market More 80s are doing good. I didn't plant any Market More 76, only the 80s. Okay, now from this pole right here to this pole right here, the last of this is all Market More 80s. From this pole coming on down is the Boston pickling cucumbers. And yes, these are coming along nicely as well. Now, because of the rain, we haven't been able to get out here and do some harvesting, but it's time, past time, and I need to get out here and harvest them so I can start making some pickles, okay? So now, from this fence to this fence is all Boston pickling, all right? So now as we move on to this area right here, from this post to this post is national pickling. And this is the only way, you all, I have been able to successfully... Jax, come from by those bees. This is the only way I have been able to successfully keep up with where my cucumbers are and what varieties they are. So first section, Market More 80. Next section, Boston pickling. This section, national pickling. Now look up under here. Look at all these cucumbers. Look at them, just down there. It's just a ton of them. Just a ton of them, all down up in there that I need to get out of there. Right? And then we come over to the National Pickling. We got to get this and get that back on the trellis. But we have cucumbers under here that are just about ready to harvest. Some are harvested because we've been harvesting them. Okay? Now, look at this. Just look at this cucumber. That is a big old cucumber to be a National Pickling cucumber. That joker is huge. Move, bud. So many under here, right? So many under here. That one has gone too far. But they're everywhere, okay? Now, as we come to the end, this last section down here is our Japanese climbing cucumber, okay? Now, these right here are starting to produce slowly, but they are starting to produce. And there are plenty of them. Again, hiding underneath. Not quite ready yet, but they're hiding underneath. And we have a lot of cucumbers, y'all. Just a lot of them coming along, right? So, yeah, that is just to show you how quickly a few weeks can make in the garden, right? Look at the growth in this. Look at the growth in this garden in just a few weeks, and how we're loaded with fruit, right? Everything is just coming along and looking so good and so healthy. Now, not every single plant is going to be perfectly healthy, right? No. You know, some of them are good, some of them are not. Well, most of them are good, and a few of them are not. But that happens in gardening, right? That happens in gardening, right? You're successful with some, and some don't do so well, and that's why you plant more than what you need. You always plant more than what you need, because the chances are great that you may lose a few of your plants and your starts, you know. And I am a true example of that this year, because we lost all of our tomatoes, almost. We didn't lose all of the paste tomatoes, but we lost almost all of our tomatoes. We did lose the majority of our peppers. 90% of our peppers we lost. I only had a few left, and they're not looking so good. But the growth of the garden is coming along so nicely. And I've already been harvesting tomatoes. I've already been harvesting, as you know, cucumbers. I've already harvested peppers. You know, I've been harvesting quite a bit, you know. What is it, ma'am? Okay. But in any case, y'all, I just wanted to do a quick update on the garden. I don't even think it's been a month. It hasn't even been a month since the previous garden tour. It hasn't even been a month. So I had to come out here and just show y'all this. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for today's video garden tour. Look at this sunflower. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, it's just gorgeous. Right? This is that Mongolian giant, you all. And it's supposed to be the largest sunflower out here. I have Mammoth, Mongolian giant, and Titan. And I think this is that Mongolian giant, and it is the largest sunflower that we are growing out here on the homestead. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see her? Why? Just why? Why? Why, girl? Why? You do some of the weirdest stuff. Why? All right. And then she was pulling my camera on the ground. She just kept knocking it off. I don't know what her issue is, but she loved a tripod. So she just kept taking the camera down. It's crazy. All right, y'all. So that's going to do it for today's video update in the garden. I'm loving it. Yes, I am. Now, remember, y'all, when you garden, you got to do what works for you, okay? And you got to garden the way your area says you need to garden, okay? Now, for us, people that garden in the north have to garden differently from some of us in the south. And some of us in the south have to garden differently from others who grow in the south. It all depends on where you are, okay? So you have to do what works for you. But how will you know what works for you until you actually start? All right, y'all? So I'm encouraging you. I'm motivating you to start to grow your groceries. All right? Grow your own food. There is nothing more satisfying than growing your own food. All right? All right, y'all, that's going to do it. I got to get to work. I got some cucumbers. I need to harvest peppers and whatnot. Broccoli, cauliflower, I need to get harvested. And I got to get some more butternut squash in the ground. Okay? Because if I don't, I will never hear the end of it. Okay? All right, y'all, that's going to do it for today. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we upload to our channel. Thank you all so much for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, and I'm going to see you in the next video. I'm going to show you what her sister's doing. Her sister is on the roof of the barn. Just walking back and forth on the roof of the barn.